Welcome back to Radical Rescue. Alright, let's finish this.
So, what happens if we leave Splinter in April?
We can't leave because the game only ends if we defeat Cyber Shredder and as a result save April. And in order to do that...
Question. Is it possible for you to beat this game with only Mikey?
No, you cannot, Dej, because the game is designed so that you're going to need all 4 of the turtles' abilities at some point.
So it's not a game where you can, like, miss something and then somehow end up getting the not-so-great ending.
No, there's only one ending. Like, the game is designed in a way where you have to go about like, you can take on challenges in specific... not even in so much specific orders, because when you first start off with Mikey, the game pretty much determines that you have to first save Leo, because in order to get to Raph, you need Leo. In order to get to Donnie, you need Raph. So, again, this is a Metroidvania type game, but it's definitely very linear in its progression when you actually get to the nitty and gritty of it. It's not...
I'm used to Metroidvania sometimes having multiple different things based off of how well you did, or if you got this or that.
Think of this. This is like your average kid's first Metroidvania. Like it's a good way to introduce people to the genre, because this is a fairly simple one to start with.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with that. It's
I know a lot of people love Shantae, even though at its core it is...
Well done, my turtles. But Shredder has kidnapped April.
Yeah, we kind of knew that already.
Yeah, we did. He's more powerful than ever.
Now even a trash dumpster won't be able to stop him.
My sons, so focus your powers and prepare for Bottle.
Bottle? Oh, God!
Bottle?
What are we supposed to do with his butt?
Yeah, I think you mean Battle. Did nobody...
Don't you...
Splinter? Bottle.
Nobody...
Splinter, what have you and Shredder been up to lately?
I don't want to know.
Well, they used to be enemies. Maybe that finally blossomed into true love.
Oh God. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, come on, you've heard weirder slashers. Also, Dwibs, remember what franchise we're talking about? This franchise has had reptiles pretty much be shipped with human women or women of completely different species or alien.
And that's gross too.
Okay. I'm pretty confident the idea was for him to say battle, but somebody mistyped it and nobody bothered to...
We got... Hell, they didn't even bother correcting it here or anything. Maybe Digital Eclipse thought it was just too damn funny to correct.
Well, the thing is, honestly, it's like...
Aren't these games more or less just emulations?
Yeah, they are. They are Java, but Digital Eclipse has occasionally done alterations to games. Like, for example, with the Genesis version of Tournament Fighters that's on here, you can fight. You can play as the boss characters, even though you couldn't in the original.
Okay then. Well, yeah. In that case, I guess Dwibs is right.
My guess is they thought the effort it would take to alter the game's code just to change that one letter wasn't worth it, because who cares?
That, and perhaps it was good for a laugh.
Yeah, that too. Because I can see why they, even if they noticed that problem, they probably thought to themselves, is it really worth all the time and money would be spent just to change that one letter? Especially because the game might as well just keep it in. I mean, it's preservation. You can argue it's preservation of how the game originally was. So
I remember when a good portion of Ace Attorney fans hated when remasters of the trilogy took out some of the most iconic spelling errors.
Mm-hmm. Basically, yeah. Honestly, with spelling errors, it's one of those things where at this point, spelling errors in the Ace Attorney franchise are part of the series identity in the West. So honestly, at this point, it's just like whatever. So that's not a good enough. That's not a good enough reason for me to switch to the HD trilogy. Thank you. Go on.
And what's worse, the HD trilogy gets rid of the miracle never happened too. That is sacrilege.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it did. I was wondering what everyone was talking about. Well, I was like, okay.
But it's not just that. But it's not just that.
Trilogy is supposed to be an improvement, but well, okay, we've already gone on and on about how the original HD trilogy of Ace Attorney does not really look the best, and honestly takes out a lot of the fun with the spelling errors.
I really wish. It's unfortunate that Capcom seems to be intent on just using the HD trilogy as the basis for all releases now, because I really wish it would have been given the Apollo Justice treatment.
Yeah, like, say what you will about Apollo Justice, the remaster actually got the sprites right. I mean, it still did that slower frame rate thing with the mouse that I didn't like from the HD trilogy, but in terms of actually polishing up the sprites to look HD, it did that way better than the original HD trilogy, which makes it look like some cheap flash art, I'm not gonna lie.
Also, real cute calling it the new trilogy, the Apollo Justice trilogy. Like, you liars, stop lying.
No, Apollo is in all three of those games.
But he's not the main character.
Well, actually, Dej, you can make an argument that when it comes to, okay, if you had to pick one character that's like big in all three games, it would be Apollo. Because
I'd rather just call it Ace Attorney Trilogy 2 or something like that.
Well, I don't know. I get the feeling they couldn't come up with a better name. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
I do.
Yeah. After all, we know Capcom's naming conventions are great.
True. I do have to say, Dej does have a bit of a point that, yeah, okay, look. The second trilogy is definitely like, okay, maybe they found their footing with the sixth game, but calling that the Apollo Justice trilogy is definitely going to tilt some heads, especially given how 4 and 5 work, but I digress. Also, Shredder's goons have pickaxes here. What are they mining for exactly?
I don't know. They never explain.
Treasure? Energon?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's why we're here. Yeah, and since one of them was in that cartoon All Stars to the Rescue one, where it was against finding marijuana, that's their driving force. Come here and stop them digging up all the marijuana.
Dwebs.
You know, have we ever seen a version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles where Shredder actually does do drug dealing as one of his side bits?
Surprisingly, no. You'd think we would, considering it was back in the 80s where the whole fight against drugs was rampant, right? But Dwebs, all I have to say is, Dwebs, your brain must be like really messed up. So, seriously, I really have to wonder what direction they gave Mikey's VA in that special, because even the way he speaks, like, it kind of feels like Mikey's also stoned. I actually forgot his name. I'm drawing a blank right now. Let me get it.
Well, whoever it was, maybe it's like it was one of those cases where he really didn't want to be there, or they directed him.
Well, I guess, yeah, because most of the other VAs do their job properly.
Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue. The greatest crossover of its time, or an absolute waste of a crossover at the time? You make the call.
Here, Dwebs, that's it, Townsend Coleman. Like, I always forget because he has such a weird name, Townsend. There you go, and of course Donnie's played by Barry Gordon, and of course Raph was played by Rob Paulson, and Leo by Ken Clark, of course.
It's funny how some people actually think Rob Paulson played Donatello sometimes for some reason.
That's because of the 2012 show, where he plays Donnie.
So I guess Rob Paulson can boast he's been two of the Turtles.
2012 show. You didn't realize that was him?
No, Dej. When I say that, I mean people used to think that he also did Donatello from the 80s show. Like, I know he did Donatello in the 2012 show.
And he was also the voice director, if I remember correctly, Dej?
He's the voice director for Rise.
Oh, also. Is he going to be involved in Mutant Mayhems? The series, I mean?
We don't know. We don't know much about this show.
Alright. That would be interesting. It would be interesting if Rob becomes involved in that series too, because he would become probably the most prominent figure consistently in the franchise. That would be cool.
I know he also voiced him and Maurice Lamar voiced two Foot Clan members in that show.
Well,
Okay,
makes sense.
so question. If you guys were to put together your all-star dream TMNT cast using, like, past actors from across all the different shows or mythos, which actor would you have for each turtle from these past shows?
The actors from the 2003 show.
I would say 2003 Leo or Donnie, Rob Paulson, Raph.
How about the Shredder from that? How about Shredder being played by that guy who played him in the Coming Out of Our Shells tour?
Like for example,
a better costume maybe, but yeah.
I will definitely agree. Sam Riegel is my go-to for Donatello.
No, Sam Riegel does a great job in the 2003 show, so I have no problem with him sticking around.
I keep thinking he's Leonardo.
I have yet to watch the 2012 show, so I don't know how Rob Paulson's Donnie voice is there, so I'll have to wait and see how that...
Have you... okay.
Oh, Leonardo's Michelson Turner class in that one.
Have you ever watched any thing where Rob Paulson voices a nerd?
Yeah, here and there.
No, actually, did you ever see the...
I'm pretty sure I have. I've seen a lot of Rob Paulson stuff over the years.
Have you seen the Mask cartoon?
Yes, I have. He plays Stanley in that.
It's just basically that voice.
Sure, I guess I can see that working out. I'll have to actually properly hear it.
Also, I'll say it. Ironically, I think my favorite voice for Raph might be Rob Paulson. I mean, you know, it's funny. Like, normally you think, of course, Raph's gotta have the tough guy voice, but honestly, I kind of like the twist of Rob Paulson's voice on it, where you get the sense that he's tough, but he doesn't sound overtly edgy.
The idea... Sorry, go on.
I do feel like some iterations of Raph try to barrel down a little too much on the serious angle with him here or there. Like, I feel like I actually do like Rob Paulson's take on Raph. Maybe the best. Well,
the idea of OG Raph as conceived by Peter and Kevin is that he's meant to be the more emotionally unstable of the four. You know, like he has problems dealing with his anger. That's always been his main character flaw. So obviously giving him a voice acting to the 2003 show makes sense. Whereas Rob Paulson's Raph is basically almost a complete... I mean, he keeps the sass. Like the sass that Raph also has in the 2003 show is in the 80s show.
Maybe that's why I like him the best, because he's...
But that's like the one thing that 80s Raph and 03 Raph have in common, the fact that they both have one-liners, but that's literally the one thing they have in common, because in 80s Raph is meant to be more the wisecracker. He's even the one that breaks the fourth wall the most of the four, so...
Which is weird that he did it more than Mikey, because you'd think of all characters to do the fourth wall breaking jokes. That would have probably been more so Mikey.
Like when it comes to...
I guess maybe...
but I get the feeling they will... Okay, well, here's the thing. Mikey is the party dude. His humor is more about... He's little being the party dude who loves pizza. He's the more lighthearted and, I guess, simple-minded. I guess the best way to put it of the four turtles. Whereas for Raph, they wanted to go specifically for the wisecracks. And again, when you have Rob Paulson, and Rob Paulson is great as 80s Raph because, well, I mean, he's Rob Paulson. I mean, like, that kind of role is perfect for him. So obviously, 80s Raph, it's two different takes on Raph completely. And again, if you just take them for what they are, and 80s show is the only one who ever did that kind of Raph, actually, because even the 90s live action movies instead went for Mirage Raph rather than cartoon Raph. So we haven't had cool but rude Raph in a while. It's always been the angry, confused Raph, because that's always been his major character flaw. So
didn't Mutant Mayhem kind of do that?
Well, I didn't want to go on another rant about Mutant Mayhem, but in Mutant Mayhem,
I know about its issues. Like I said, I'm not even the biggest fan of that, but I guess to give them credit, they did try that again with Raph.
Well, with Mutant Mayhem is a bit, yeah, but with Mutant Mayhem is just one of those things where it's just like they're all of them are the funny one, so it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, I don't know. To me, removing all the super distinct personalities that the characters have had up until this point, to me, is misguided. There's changing things to try. There's trying different things, And then there's just okay, and then there's just like okay, now at this point these aren't even the same characters to me, you know.
Rise at the start.
Oh, that I don't know. I haven't seen it. I only saw the movie. So.
Oh look! I like me and Dej have alluded to. While Rise is loved now, I was there. I remember how much that thing was hated at start, and as much as people will say we were too hard on it. No, I'm gonna have to agree with Dez that we had good reason to not like Rise at the start. And even if they did have a plan, they did not telegraph that plan well in the first season.
Okay, if it helps, despite the 2 movies from that universe being terrible, I don't mind the voice actors for the Turtles in the Bayverse. They work fine, especially considering the shitty scripts they were dealt with. Like, they handled their performances fine enough. I mean, I mean, the guy who plays Leo, yeah, the voice fits, and I mean, for as much as I fucking hate the way Leo is written in those movies, but same thing with Raph, the guy voicing Raph, he also fits the same thing with the one playing Mikey. Also, you know, he sounds pretty much like on par with the guy who played him in the O3 show, so no harm, no foul. Same thing for the guy playing Donnie. Again, I do like those voice actors; they work fine enough. It's just a shame that those 4 VAs are stuck in one of the worst incarnations of the franchise. Ugh. Like especially the first movie. The first movie is just complete garbo. It's just like, oh my god, it's so bad.
You're talking about the Bay movies, right?
Yeah, the Bay movies. Yes.
Okay.
Like the first one is genuine, like pure rat garbage. It's just like there's nothing good in that thing. It's just like, ugh.
It's been a while since I've seen that, so I probably need to rewatch it again to
Don't worry, we'll
judge.
do it for our movie commentary.
I recall the second one being much better.
Oh, it is better in the sense that it's more akin to the 80s cartoon, so it's more recognizable as a TMNT movie. The problem with that is that the plot is a fucking convoluted mess that's just throwing so much shit at you that it's nearly impossible to follow what's going on. That and worst Casey Jones ever. Like, oh my god. Okay, it was like the comeback of Batman and Robin's version of Robin. Like, Jesus. Like, he just whines and whines and whines, and it's just like, and he doesn't behave like Casey Jones should. But whatever. Alright, so now that we're almost done, now we have to go for what... This is quite possibly the toughest platforming section in the entire game. Because not only do you have to deal with those enemies throwing missiles at you, you have to deal with these retractable platforms. So, fortunately, you do have pauses, like you have safe spots like this one, that platform doesn't retract. The main problem, of course, is these guys who are constantly respawning and they're annoying as fuck. And of course you have a guy throwing rocks there, because of course you do. Seriously, this is... It's practically impossible to be able to get up there without getting hit. Fuck.
Perhaps there is a pattern in there.
There's a thing, Jova. As far as I can tell, there isn't. It seems to be most like he's just throwing rocks. Okay. Okay. If there is a pattern, it's like he throws 2 rocks, but the pause in between throws is minimal, like very small. It's practically nothing.
Well, to quote Raphael, just don't get hit.
Exactly, just don't get hit. Just get hit less.
Easy as that.
Want to be good at fighting games? Don't get hit.
I remember when you were asking me about my experience with fighting games, and I told you that no, like I like playing games like Mortal Kombat and the TMNT old fighting games, but I'm not particularly great at fighting games. And you told me, don't worry, Pedro, nobody's actually great at fighting games. That's I don't know, like
I forgot what made me say that. I think it was more like following some big names in the FGC. It's like, man, you guys do not like your game at all.
I mean, Maximilian Dude is good at fighting games.
Yeah. Max is like the exception.
Is there like a fighting game he hates?
I'm sure there's.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, look, he loves playing Dragon Ball Fighters, right? Make him play Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22, one of the shittiest fighting games you can find from that era.
What about Final Battle?
Or that one. Well, I mean, trust me, this. Believe it or not, Ultimate Battle 22 is even worse than Final Bout.
Really?
Why can't I just make him play Battle of Z?
Wait.
Is Battle Z even technically a fighting game?
I think.
I haven't actually played Battle of Z. I don't know if it's like is it like a Tenkaichi type of Budokai Tenkaichi type of game?
I have no idea. I just noticed that there's a model of Beerus that looks ugly.
I do plan on one day doing a couple of the old DBZ games for the channel, so we can do a little quick let's look at kind of stuff.
I mean, you can just do the story modes of the Budokai games.
No, when it comes to story stuff, I'll just do Kakarot, because that's the best way to experience the story via video game. And there we are.
We're having a boss rush, I see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Before we fight Shredder, we're going to Cyber Shredder. We have to fight all bosses in a row. So this particular is, of course, the hardest part of the game. So
Is this the first game without Krang?
no, this game does not have Krang now. However, remember, the 80s. Remember, the first NES game didn't have Krang either, because the first game was supposedly more based on the Mirage comics rather than the 80s show. So.
Alright, Krang wasn't a thing before then, was he?
No, the Krang. Well, even though his race was already a thing in the Mirage comics, the character himself was made up by the 80s show. Yes. But then I think the following comics after Mirage adapted him into the comics themselves, if I remember correctly.
Again,
right,
I always found it funny how, despite the original creators supposedly hating the 80s show, they did end up incorporating some aspects of the 80s show into later works of
I get the feeling, now that I've actually seen the first season, I get the feeling that Peter Laird probably had to make some concessions to get that show made, probably, because, yeah, I can definitely see some things in there that he probably had to concede with gritted teeth. So...
I wonder... That, or maybe he's just an ultra tsundere for the 80s show.
Actually, Jova, I even showed to Deji recently a special making of featurette from the 80s DVDs, like the 80s show DVDs, I should say. We even had Peter Laird say that, oh, yeah, it was a fun show, and if I saw it as a kid, I probably would have loved it. And me and Deji mutually said to each other, he's sad for gritted teeth.
Yeah, like, I gotta ask, so where's the gun being pointed at him off screen?
There's no gun being pointed at him. However, Jova, the place where he's being interviewed, right behind him is a shit ton of TMNT 2003 merchandise. So, trying to give us a message, Peter, with that?
Hey, like, I do wonder if deep down he begrudgingly respects the 80s series for making TMNT the franchise juggernaut, because... I'm sorry to say, but TMNT really does owe a lot of its success to the 80s show.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I mean, the 2003 show, I will argue, is good enough vindication for Mirage fans, I will argue. So I think at this point it's just like, we can just have these two versions of the franchise coexist. I mean, if Mutant Mayhem can exist, I don't see why the 80s show can't. Yeah, I actually would love to hear what Peter Laird thinks of Mutant Mayhem, honestly.
I don't think he cares.
Well, yeah.
I'd rather, like, asking what Peter Laird thinks about anything TMNT that isn't something he worked on is like asking Alan Moore about his opinion on modern comics. Yeah,
Kevin Eastman is much more open-minded, especially because he actually did help with creating the story for the first season of the 80s show. So of course Kevin Eastman is much more okay with it and whatever. Yeah, basically.
Don't worry, we'll soon defeat Pickaxe. Rodents. There you go.
I will at the very least say that, just like the previous boss battles, they do restore your health to full after you defeat each one of the bosses, so it's not too bad. As long as you're... by this point, you should be good enough at the game, so you should be able to get through this without dying. And there's a Triceraton, of course.
We got, which one's the more rhino looking at the two, Bebop and Rocksteady?
Rocksteady.
Yeah, this is Rocksteady's cousin, Rock.
It's
Liquid, I don't know.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. Bebop's the pig. Sorry. Go on.
I was gonna say his dad, but no, the bit cliche.
Yeah, Bebop's the warthog and Rocksteady's the rhino. Yes.
Yeah. Did you guys know I don't watch 80s Turtles a whole lot?
Well, it's not like you have much of a good means to watch it, because I mean, you can. I guess you can watch the first season entirely on the official channel. There's that, but aside from that, there's not really.
Paramount Plus.
Oh, it's on Paramount Plus. Okay.
I know the 2003 show is.
Well, could you? Do you have Paramount Plus?
Not right now.
Well, okay, in that case. But I'm actually curious if Paramount the Paramount Plus uploads of the 80s show has the new crappy version of the song that they made for the YouTube channel, or not. Probably, considering Paramount doesn't seem to want to pay the royalties. There you go.
Okay, so we have the counterparts of Bebop and Rocksteady, Rock and Roll, and Lagoon.
Toka, Razor. Alright. Well,
who's next?
Scaletail.
Oh yeah, Snake Gunmouth.
Well, at least we got to. There you go. There you go.
So what are your thoughts on boss rushes? I don't hate them like a lot of people seem to.
I don't really have a problem with them as long as they're well designed and fair in the way they're put. And this one, to be fair, is because they do refill your health entirely after each boss, so it's not too bad, honestly. By this point, you should be good enough at the game to pull this through. It's more so with Shredder, that's when you get to Cyber Shredder, that's more the major problem. In fact, the one major thing that I can definitely see being a problem back in this day when playing this game is the password system. Because remember, there's no save system for this game, so you have to rely on passwords. And you only get a password every time you rescue someone, meaning you can only get a password for 5 specific spots in this game. Which means if you lose this and die in this boss rush, you have to go all the way back to when you rescued Splinter via inputting that password. So yeah, defeating this game back in the day was definitely more frustrating, but fortunately now with the quality of life refinements that we have from Digital Eclipse, it's a lot easier. And you can save a state, which is much more reasonable. Again, this game probably... I mean, this game came out in 93, if I remember correctly. By this point, there were plenty of OG Game Boy games that had save batteries, so I don't see why this one couldn't have one. A save battery could definitely have helped this game a lot back in the day. Alright, almost done. After this, it should be Cyber Shredder. And no, this time a dock will not work. You see, Joe, remember, this is not Super Shredder, this is Cyber Shredder, not to be confused.
Of course.
Gotta go through the Mega Man style transition thingies. Seriously, those hallways are literally right straight out of Mega Man. And there's the Cyber Shredder. There we are.
Oh,
and yeah, his posing and his moves feel a lot like we're we're doing a fighting game. Like especially his fighting stance there. Like seriously.
Yeah. Oh, apparently he's taken some lessons from DBZ with those moves.
Spirit Bomb, like.
Kamehameha! Well, Freeze's Death Ball Ray.
Well, that particular move that he's doing is more akin to some moves from DBZ that you haven't seen yet. But But yeah, like it's like look at his kick in particular as well. Like this feels like a character out of a fighting game. Like seriously, the way Shredder is designed and animated, it feels like it came from a different game.
Yeah.
Go on, Joey, you were saying?
Wait, that's not the Kame. That's not the Kamehameha. That's Yamcha's Spirit Ball.
Yeah, or
I
that.
was literally just saying that.
Well, you have to understand.
Those are more.
You have to understand that he's still going through the Red Ribbon Army saga, so he's not there yet.
I'm sure that you've probably seen Yamcha do that move through the fighting games.
Actually, Dwebs doesn't really have any experience with Dragon Ball games outside of, I guess, playing Kakarot for 5 minutes, I think.
Anyway.
Go on, Joe.
It seems more like they're akin to Frieza's Death Ball moves, especially with how he can control them too.
Sure, I guess. Yeah, look at this. Shredder has been definitely practicing some moves, hasn't he?
He really wants to take down those turtles good.
Tonight, I dine on turtle soup.
I tried it. It's disgusting.
Have you actually tried turtle soup, Dubs?
No, but someone has probably made that.
Well, yeah, turtle soup is a thing, yes. Same thing with, frog legs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Maybe if I go to a country that has that as one of its special dishes, I might give it a try.
That way, maybe you'll be able to relate to Hades Shredder more.
Yes. Yeah. I stopped dining on turtle soup. It was making me put on a lot of weight.
And here's the twist with Saber Shredder. You have to beat him twice.
Of course.
So is that to increase your health bar? Like a...
The hearts do, and I got all 4 hearts, so right now my health bar is as high as it can get.
Wow, that's anticlimactic.
The idea is that, this is the Saber Shredder, it's the hardest boss, so they thought they would make it extra hard. And yeah, for the second phase is much faster, as you can see. Make sure you bring in a full pizza so it can revive you when you die, if you die.
That is nice that it automatically revives you.
Yeah, that's basically it. The slices of pizza heal you on the spot, a couple hit points. The full pieces are items that you save that, it's kind of like, well, kind of not, the Platinum game did something similar, where you can get slices of pizza, or you can get full pieces that heal all turtles instead of just the one that uses it. There's that. There you go. And we got the key to April Cell.
Boy. Shredder, I'll give Shredder this. He certainly wait, there's more level to go?
No, that's okay. It's just a couple... There you go. There's April.
What's even the point?
Go ahead. I don't know. Go ahead.
I knew you'd rescue me.
And yes, they actually went for 80s April this time.
Now that Shredder's gone, the world will finally be at peace.
Sure, I am sure no other villain will come around and try to wreck New York. I guarantee it.
Yeah, April, just wait till the...
And now the credits will... And now, behold, as the credits try to give you a seizure.
Why?
I don't know. Oh wait, guys, did you know that this game stars Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael, and Donatello?
No.
I mean, they all look the same in this, to be fair, just the weapons are slightly
Wow,
different.
okay, all turtles look the same to you. I see how it is.
That's Turtlist.
Okay, seeing their full
Whatever.
sprites, you do see that they have different weapons, so that's your way of differentiating.
I mean,
them.
that's what I said.
Don't worry, it's
Rest
fine.
in peace. Rest in peace, Scale Tail. You will.
Alright, let's look away from the screen for a moment, because there's not really anything more that goes on.
I'm just
Dwebs.
gonna switch it off before I'm just gonna switch it off.
Alright, Dwebs, final thoughts on this game.
Really the only complaint I've got against it is the visuals, namely how all the turtles just look identical to each other, sans the weapons that you can just barely see. Music's fine, and really that's about. I don't really have that much to say in regards to these old 2D Turtles games.
All right.
But they're but again, this looks like another one of the more fine ones.
Okay then. Jova.
This was certainly another TMNT game. Now, to be fair, a lot of improvements over the previous game, though it does seem like it has some pretty BS difficulty at some times, but you know, as is part of the times. Otherwise, this seems like a perfectly good and playable TMNT Game Boy handheld game. Good music too.
Indeed. Dej.
Yeah, this game looks fun. I do want to try it, and I would be all for another attempt at a TMNT Metroidvania game. Because, like, oh, there's a lot of potential there, and it's like, what, this game came out in 93 or something like that?
93, yeah.
It's been 30 years or something. And the genre has improved drastically, so there's a lot of ideas that you can take, and with the various incarnations of the franchise, there's more material that you could reference.
That's actually a good point that you just made, Dej. Like, at the time of this recording, we are recording this when the game is actually now exactly 30 years old. So, there you go.
I guess, is the world demanding a remake trilogy?
I seriously doubt that. We'll get this collection and that's it. Go on, Dej.
I mean, to be fair, you could arguably just make a new game basing some characters on this.
Mm-hmm. Carry on, Dej.
Yeah. I would like a new attempt at this.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't do it.
All right. As for me, this is definitely my favorite of the Game Boy trilogy because it definitely has a lot more meat on its bones compared to the other two, which are a bit too straightforward for their own good. So yeah, definitely a fan of this one. It does have some BS difficulty stuff, like Jova said. However, you can very well get around that by using the rewind feature in the save states.
Like if you're playing it on this collection, you'll be fine.
You're better off, again, like I've been saying throughout these playthroughs. You're better off playing these games in the Cowabunga collection because with all the stuff that Digital Clips put in, like it makes these games a lot easier to experience and just focus on the good stuff. So yeah, definitely. And this is definitely a game that, again, it's considered the hidden gem of the Cowabunga collection, and for a good reason, because yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential here, and I do like the fact that they tried something more ambitious with this one. It definitely makes for one of the more unique TMNT games, which is something that's cool. Alright, everybody, which means that we are now officially done with all of the side-scrolling TMNT games on the Cowabunga collection. We're going to take a break from the Cowabunga collection, everybody, so next time we come back to TMNT, we'll do Dimensional Shell Shock, the DLC to Shredder's Revenge. So stick in for that.
Nice.
See ya.
See ya.